I'm Jen.
And I'm Brett.
And we are Journeying with the G's. And life is too short to live normal. So today we are answering a few questions we've gotten about living full-time on the road. Speaking of the road, we are coming from Truth or Consequences. Let's see, I'm gonna take you out a little. We're coming from Truth or Consequences,
New
Mexico.
And we're driving to
Grants, New Mexico.
So we'll be answering some of the questions we've got about, like Jen said, about living on the road full time in an RV, and you guys kind of get to see what we get to see through some of the drive. Yeah.
So if it worked out right, you'll see some footage next to us of where we're actually driving at the time.
It's really pretty here.
It's really, really pretty.
You got blue sky over here. Some hills and canyons, but way out there we've got like rain clouds.
Yeah, really neat.
So
one of the first questions that we got was, how do we handle medical and dental appointments on the road? We have Florida Blue for our insurance for medical and dental. We've only had to use...
Yeah, Florida Blue is one that a lot of people use. A lot of full-timers use.
If their residency is
in Florida. And a lot of full-timers end up getting residency in Florida. Hold that thing still, lady.
I'm trying!
Use the other hand or something. So we've only had one experience.
Yeah, one experience. In January, I chipped a tooth. I think I just popped out a filling. And what I did to figure it out is I went on the Florida Blue website and I looked up dentists that were in the area that we were in. Thankfully, we were in Orlando for a couple months. I can't wait till we get a tripod. That's gonna be nice. So I searched for a couple of dentists that were near where we would be, and I just looked at reviews, and I found one that had really great reviews, right across the street from Sherwood Forest, which is an Encore park.
In Florida.
Maybe Kissimmee, in the Orlando area. Unfortunately, it probably was a good 2 months until I could get an appointment. So that's just something to keep in mind. I would say if we were traveling around more like we are for the next couple months, I would just have to call and see if I could get an appointment.
So Florida Blue is a PPO.
I think we have a PPO plan. And like you said, a lot of RVers use it.
Yeah. We just had some friends who one of them injured, fell and scraped his knee while he was hiking. I don't know how their process was. I don't know what that process was like when he went to the hospital.
Yeah, because that was to the emergency room.
Yeah, so, you know, we're not saying it works everywhere. There are a number of locations around the U.S. where it works.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be perfect. You're just not going to be able to find something that works in every single state, in every city that you're in. So,
I think that's a good,
but it's something to check out. But
just that you can't have a perfect situation in RV.
Yeah, but it's a great question of how do you get medical and dental for your family. Just know that there are options out there to have some decent coverage. Right. So don't let that be a limiting factor. Right. In you hitting the road or having a lifestyle like this where you travel more.
Yeah, and I know our friends who've traveled full time for over a year have gotten prescriptions filled in like all the states that they've been in. I don't think they've had a problem in any state.
Yeah, and when you think of like if you just wanted to go, if you wanted a checkup or something like that, or anything not like where time is of the essence, emergency.
Yeah, non-emergency.
I mean, you have time to book things. If you want to get a dental appointment, you have time to book that based on where you think you're going to be, where you plan to be for a month or two out. So it's possible. And then once in a while, you might be in a situation where you have an emergency. In that situation, you're very likely to be in an area where you can use, where you would find a place that takes part in that. But if not, it's, again, you're not going to find something perfect, and it's one of those, call it a downside, but it is something to consider. So just know that there are options. So, I think that answers the question.
Yeah, I think so. You can let us know if you've had any experience, if you're full-time now, if you've had any experience with Florida Blue or
please let us know things to consider.
Option. Someone else asked, what has been the hardest part of living full-time on the road? And I'd say I'd kind of like to reframe that to what's the most challenging, because I think it challenges you to be more flexible in so many different ways. One of the harder things has been the internet situation, because you just don't know how your phone or your hotspot or even the free Wi-Fi at the campground is going to be until you get there. You can read some reviews, but sometimes, what we need internet for isn't what someone else needs internet for, so they might say that it's great for emailing and checking different things, but we need a little bit more, or vice versa.
Yeah, I would say that probably what you initially said about being flexible, internet's a good example because it's so different from one place to another. Whether that's the calls that you're making, or whether that's being able to send emails, or even stream videos or something like that. So, but another example, it's hard to have consistency when you're traveling around, because like today is Wednesday. Yes. I think
today is Wednesday.
Right, and it would be more ideal if we could only work or only travel like on Sundays once a week or once every 2 or even 3 weeks. Because breaking down and setting up the RV and all that traveling,
it takes the whole day. Right,
it takes up a lot of time from the day. So it's easier for us to do a bit of our work during the week, but we're still able to do it on the weekend. So that means sometimes we're taking off on a Tuesday and not doing any work. But if we have to move on a Friday, well, then that means we might be working more on Saturday and Sunday.
Right, exactly.
Right? Or if we want to do a hike, but based on when we have to move, we might do a hike while, on a Monday when most people are working, right? And it's cool, but that also means that maybe when we come back from the hike at 5 p.m., we still have more work to do, right? So it's like being flexible, but also being disciplined to do the things that need to be done.
Right.
And that, we'll be trying to work, and then one of us goes to the bathroom and, realizes one of the gray tank or the black tank is getting full. So we have to go dump that, right? And so there is, again, it's like some flexibility there that you have to realize. Sometimes you're going to be in different places. You're going to be in different types of sites. You're going to be in different parks. Some are nice, some are not. And your drives are going to be different. Sometimes the weather will affect your drive. If you realize you're going to get 30 or 40 mile an hour winds on a day when you're going to be traveling, well, we don't want to be pulling the RV in that. No. So it might mean we have to extend a day or leave a day early, which we did from New Orleans.
Yeah, we had an experience moving from... We were in Port St. Joe when we went to New Orleans, and on the drive we found out that there was going to be a bit of rain in New Orleans, and so we happened to check the weather. It was calling for hail and just so much rain, and also winds, I think, on one maybe on the day we were going to leave.
Yeah, it was hail, possible flooding also. And so you know, we were going to be there for like 2 nights, I think, but we basically ended up only staying in New Orleans for 1 night.
Right.
So, sorry, New Orleans. We're going to have to go back another time.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of food, but that was about it.
So we got a hot minute in New Orleans. And then, en route, only a couple hours, we get a notification on the truck that the tire pressure was going down. So we pulled over off of an exit. You could hear the leak in the tire. I mean, it was a pretty much middle of nowhere, but we were able to call roadside. We had to unhook the rig, move the truck so that it was under an overpass to get out of the rain. They fixed the tire, got back on the road, and then ran into crazy traffic.
Yeah. So what was supposed to be like an 8 or 9 hour drive ended up being like a 12 or something hour drive.
No, it was even more.
13 hours.
I think it was
from like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. was the whole.
It might have, yeah.
And it was only supposed to be like.
I think it was 6.
8. Oh, maybe you're right.
I think it was like a
actually.
6-hour drive, and that was just crazy.
So you got to be flexible.
You got to be flexible.
Again, you're going to be in different places, different sites, different campgrounds. Some sites are going to be level or not level. Sometimes you're going to be able to hook up to sewer. Other times you're not going to be able to hook up to sewer. And you're going to have to figure out how you're going to dump it, or if you're going to carry it in the RV and dump it at the next place.
Yep.
It's just, same thing with the drive. You might realize you're going for a long stretch and you got to plan a place to get gas so that you're not running out, somewhere in a long stretch.
Right, or to use a restroom.
Yeah, or to use it. Yeah, so I mean, and that depends on the type of RV that you have and where you're driving. But so all of those things with work, with days of the week, with days that you travel, things that you want to do in the area, and balancing that with work, all of those things require flexibility. And it's just, it's always different. I mean, it really is. So it requires flexibility, but then it requires discipline to do the things that you need to.
Right.
If it's like RV maintenance or work for business or whatever, when you have the opportunity.
Right.
So
so I think that covers it.
What's
next is what's our favorite thing about travel, and I think it's the same from when we were taking a lot of road trips. And I mean, the main thing is we just love experiencing different places, different people, different food, restaurants, different environment.
Different environment, seeing how the scenery changes from one place to the next, even within the same state. How rolling hills can give way to like just flat land or mountains. And you can, here in New Mexico, we went from an environment like this where it's brown out there and you got tumbleweeds and stuff, and then within about 30 minutes to an hour we were going through mountains with huge pine trees, and then within another 30 minutes to an hour we were going through this again in an area where there was sand, like desert. Right. All within probably a 2-hour, 3-hour drive from Carlsbad, New Mexico.
That was from Carlsbad to White Sands. Alamogordo, yeah.
So, so that's I love seeing the difference. I love experiencing the difference in scenery. I love experiencing, seeing the different type of architecture of buildings. How houses on the East Coast might be built a little bit more Victorian style. Houses over here, at least in New Mexico, are a little more square. Sometimes, often like tan or beige color,
and shorter. They don't go up very high.
So it's been really neat. Or even their shingles on a lot of roofs might be a little bit different too. So, and then obviously, experiencing the different things that that area has to offer, whether it's a hike or something natural, some kind of like caverns or
Yeah.
or trees or you know, zoos or exhibits or something
Right.
like that, and then meeting different people. Sometimes we're hiked, you know, or we're parked right next to people, and they're from a completely different state, and we just get to hear a little bit about their experiences. Obviously, eating at different restaurants, all those things.
Yeah.
We just love. I love seeing different cultures, even within the U.S., and just learning about different ways that different places and different people, the ways that people talk and the ways that people think in all these areas. So, love that's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, and it was interesting how a lot of the places on the East Coast, even down into Florida, you felt they all seemed so similar with the types of trees and how green it was. You really don't notice a change until you get out. I mean, it was New Mexico where it really changed.
Well, we noticed probably in from Florida, Louisiana to Texas was some change.
But it was pretty similar.
But even within Texas, there was a big change. There were hills and mountains and trees that we would not have pictured being in Texas.
No, it's just fascinating how different and how similar the different areas of the country are. Really enjoyed that. And
to have
the freedom to, hey, I want to go to Disney today and be able to do it.
Or let's go on a hike tomorrow in this place. I think that having the freedom to experience a place, you know, even though it's a Wednesday morning, who cares?
Right.
You know, if there's something you want to experience in the area, whether it's Disney or a hike or something like that, or going to eat at a restaurant, having that freedom to be able to do that has been one of the to experience all those different things has been probably one of the best things about it. So I think that probably answers.
I think so. So thanks for listening. Thanks to the folks who did ask those questions. We wanted to dive in a little deeper than a Instagram one-line answer.
Let us know if you have any other questions you'd like us to address, whether it's about life on the road or you know, medical stuff like that, or places
or anything.
Places we've seen, or living in a small space, I mean, marriage or business or whatever. Let us know, and I guess we'll. I guess that about sums it up.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you weirdos later.